Welcome to Mobility IQ class. In today's class, we're going to be doing a lot of laying around on the yoga mat, but don't let that fool you. There's also a lot of strengthening work for the hips and for the shoulders. To begin, you can come to lie all the way down on your back. And visualize your two lungs like two little balloons set inside of your rib cage. And with every in-breath, you're inflating the lungs. With every out-breath, deflating them. And if you were to gauge your percentage of inflation or deflation, you'd be somewhere around 60 to 75% of capacity here. And as you focus on that practice of inflation, deflation, you can begin to up the percentage. So the lungs themselves, they don't really have any sensory receptors. So when we're gauging how deep we're breathing, what we're feeling is expansion, contraction of rib cage. And you're feeling the accessory breathing muscles called the intercostal muscles, which are the muscles in between the ribs. You can feel movement in the abdomen along the abdominals. And you can feel gentle expansion, contraction in the chest, which moves the shoulder joints away when you inhale and towards each other when you exhale. So even though you can't feel the actual lungs, you can feel quite a bit happening with breath. And by now you're at around 80-90% of breath capacity. And you can do a few that take you to 100, but it's going to feel like an over effort. So you can try it, like breathe in, breathe in, breathe in till it almost gets like difficult to breathe in. And then breathe out all the way until that feels like you're kind of forcing the last bits of air out of the lungs. And today we don't want to be at that 100. Breath smooth and long without an over effort. Let your eyes open. If they're not already, bend your knees so that the soles of your feet are grounded. Take your hands to the front ribs, the ones that tend to pop up away from the floor. And can you smooth them down? So you're angling the rib cage down so it gets more flush with the skin of the belly. Then maintain that and let your arms rest by your side. Bring your legs up to a tabletop position. So legs at hips distance, shins at hips distance, 90-degree angles of your legs. Take your right hand and hold over the top of your left knee, and then your left hand holds over the top of your right knee. So you've crisscrossed your wrists and forearms. Then inhale, can you reach your left leg long and float your right arm long by your ear without letting arm or leg touch? Exhale, reach across, and once again hold on to the knee. Inhale, left arm, right leg, extend away from each other. Exhale, bring knee and hand back to touch. So it's almost like walking in place, using your breath to create long lines in the body, but it's opposite arm, opposite leg reaching. Now, while you're doing this, be mindful of the way that your chin wants to lift up to the ground or lift up to the ceiling. Keep your chin pulled down so the back of your skull is wide against your yoga mat. And you'll begin to feel a little bit of awakening happening in the core. One more reach, inhaling right arm, left leg. Exhale, bring it across and touch. And opposite arm, opposite leg reaching. Exhale, bring it across and touch. Now, uncross your arms, lay them by your side, legs back to tabletop, but right foot on the ground, so you're keeping left leg in table. Right hand goes onto the left knee. Push your hand into your leg, pull your leg into your hand, and hold in that push-pull pattern. So creating just enough equal but opposing force to start to wake up the front of your right hip. Take a couple more deep breaths here with this action of hand pressing away, but knee pulling towards. And then use an exhale to relax right arm and take left leg to the floor, bent knee. Other side, left hand goes over to the right side. Right knee pulls back, left hand presses away. And just enough effort that you start to feel hip flexor. So front of right hip waking up. And 2 more breaths. As you exhale, release your right foot and your left hand. Arms by your side, palms down. Draw your navel in so the back side of your pelvis is pressed into the floor. Peel your head, your neck, your shoulder blades, and hover your arms a few inches off the ground. Draw the navel down with every exhalation. Now see if you can get the shoulder blades to be fully cleared. So that means that no part of your shoulder blade is touching the ground beneath you. And then can you do little pulses up? And if this feels like, I could be here all day, then you're welcome to take your legs to tabletop and pulses up. Angling the front ribs towards the top rim of your pelvis. And do 5 more little pulses. Feet down if you lifted them. Relax head, neck, shoulder blades all the way onto the floor. Turn your head to the right, drop the right ear towards the yoga mat. And turn the head to the left, drop the left ear towards the yoga mat. So releasing the neck if it was trying to contribute to that core work. And bring your head all the way back to center. And take your right arm overhead, bend your knees one at a time, roll onto your right side. Once you arrive seated, we're taking the legs wide. So we warmed up the hamstrings and inner thigh in anticipation of being able to go wide with the legs. And then once you have this position, grab a hold of your yoga block. If you don't have one, it's okay. You can pretend that you do. And cross your arms in front of your chest, either holding the yoga block or pretending. Flex feet strong. And we'll move the spine in articular rotation. So start with what feels like a straight back or like sitting with your best posture. And then begin to add rounding. So that feeling of the chest rounding forward, the low back rounding, and the chin moving down to the chest. So almost that hunched over feeling. Now stay hunched over in that rounded spine and turn your chest towards your right knee. From there, can you side bend right shoulder over towards that right hip? And from here, there's a great lift and curl back. So it should feel like cow. So you lift up, you lift your chest, you lift your chin, and feel that big arch in the spine. Now we add side bending. Left shoulder goes over to left hip. Then rotation, so your chest spins towards your left knee. And then begin your hunching over, rounding forward and to the center. Stay rounded. Let's go the other way. Angle the block or the center of your chest towards your left knee. Add your side bend, left shoulder, left hip. Do your lift up and your curl back. And then take it over right shoulder, right hip, side bend. Rotation, so chest spins towards that right thigh, right knee. Begin to round and bring it all the way back to the center. Zip up back to tall. We did that one slow. Let's do this one a little bit faster. Round, like cat. Rotation to the right. Side bend to the right. Up and back like cow, chest lifts, chin lifts. Side bend left. Rotation left. Add your hunch and come back to the center. Stay hunched. Other way, rotation left. Side bend, left shoulder, left hip. Lift up out of the lower back and curl the upper spine, chin up. Side bend, right shoulder, right hip. Rotation, chest to the right knee. And bring it back down, rounding. Zip yourself all the way up. Block off to the side. Now let's look at that with just the neck spine, so isolating the neck. Start with ears reaching up like you have jackrabbit ears, and then drop your chin to your chest. As if you could draw a line on your right collarbone, draw with your chin a line across the right collarbone. Then drop right ear, right shoulder, so there's the side bend. Now lift up through the crown of your head and take your head back until your chin points up to the ceiling, eyes point up to the ceiling. Side bend, left ear, left shoulder. Rotate your chin to the left. And then draw that line across that left-hand side of your collarbone until chin reaches chest. Stay with your head hanging forward and let's reverse. Draw the line across the left collarbone. Rotating, chin to the left. Side bend, left ear, left shoulder. Circle the head up and back. Keep your shoulder blades pulled down, your neck long. Right ear, right shoulder, side bend. Rotation to the right, chin to the right. Bring it back down that right-hand side of the collarbone until you've got chin to chest. Sit up tall again, jackrabbit ears. Pull the shoulder blades down a little bit more. One more each way. Scrape to the right, draw a line. Rotation to the right, chin angles to right shoulder. Right ear, right shoulder, drop it off to the side. Circle the head up and back. Left ear, left shoulder. Turn your head so your chin angles to your left shoulder. Draw the line along the left-hand side of the collarbone until your chin is back to the notch of your chest. Last round to the left. Draw the line across left collarbone. Rotate chin to the left. Left ear, left shoulder. Head up and back. Right ear, right shoulder. Rotation, chin to the right. Draw the line across the left or right hand side of your collarbone, chin to the notch of your chest, and lift up. Okay, stay wide-legged and lean a little bit of body weight into your hands. So you're going to shift back. Sit up tall through the spine and attempt to lift your right leg off the floor. Hold it up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put it down. Okay. Left side, a little bit leaned back. Can you float your left leg? Or even the attempt, like you want it to come up. It gets lighter. Hold it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lower it. Can you take your legs and bring them about 3 inches closer? Now, instead of leaning way back, I want you to lean forward so you can find the middle of your sit bones. Fingertips are on the ground as a brace. Can you lift your right leg up and hold it up? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put it down. Left leg floats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put it down. Bring your legs 3 inches closer. Instead of leaning back, lean forward. Draw your navel in. Try to lift your right leg up. Hold it up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Set it down. Left side. Hover it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Set it down. Shake out your thighs a little bit. I know, they're burning. Now, bring your legs close so they're at hips distance apart. Instead of leaning back, I want you to lean forward so you're on the middle edge of your sit bone and try to lift your right leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set it down. Left leg floats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Set it down. Bonus round, lean forward, hands to the ground. Can you lift them both up? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Set it down, shake them out. I know, it's like there's little hot coals in your quads. Come to any comfortable seat. A cross-legged one might feel nice right about now. Come back to yoga block or pretending you're holding a yoga block. If you're holding the block or pretending, you're going bent elbows, block in front of your chest. And what we're going to work is something called around the world. So what it looks like is you bring the block behind you and then around the side and back to where you started. This is a shoulder mobility drill. So can you do that? Pause when you get it back there. Bring it all the way around and back in front. So think leading with your elbows off to the side, back behind you, pause, off to the side, and bring it back in front. 2 more in this direction. So I'm moving my block to the left. You might be doing something different. That's okay, because we're going to go both ways. 1 more time. Around the world, pause when it's behind you, off to the side, and bring it back in front. Around the world the opposite way. So if you're going left, you go right. If you went left, if you go right, you go left. So I'm going to go to my right. Behind, elbows lead, and back to where we began. Again. Behind, pause when you get there. Bring it off to the side and in front. Try to maximize the movement of your shoulder joints. So you're trying to get, it's a ball and socket in there. And you're trying to get that ball to move around inside of its socket. 1 more time. Behind, pause when you get there, and bring it all the way back in front. Release that. And then let's go on to our side. I'm going to use a yoga block to lie on my side to support my head. So if you'd like to use a yoga block to support your head, lay your head on it. It can also be a towel or a blanket. The left arm is extended in front of you. And then taking the right arm on top of your left arm. I have my knees bent to 90 degrees, so I have good balance here. Can you take the top arm and lift it away from the bottom arm? So your palms are maybe 5 to 7 inches away from each other. And we're going to move the scapula or the shoulder blade of this top arm. The first movement is elevation. Can you shrug that shoulder blade high up by your earlobe? The second movement is retraction. Can you pull your armpit back and feel your shoulder blade squeeze to whatever wall is behind you? Third movement, depression. Slide that shoulder blade down your back so it moves towards your hip. And then retraction, reach your arm like out of socket, like you could touch my fingertips with your fingertips. And then again, elevation, shrug up. Retraction, pull back. Depression, slide down. Protraction, reach away. One more in this direction. Up is the first action. Sucking it back is the second action. Sliding it down is the third action. And reaching the arm so far forward you feel the shoulder blade wing is the fourth. Go back to neutral. Let's reverse. Retract, squeeze back. Elevate, shrug it up. Protract, reach like we could touch fingertips. Depress, slide it down. It's like a square. Pull back. Move it up. Reach away. Slide it down. One more this direction. Pull back. Hike it up. Extend like you could touch right through your screen. And slide it down. Relax that. Okay, now we're going to continue to work with this right arm. Take the right arm long by your ear. So if you were to turn your face, you could kiss your bicep if you wanted to. Palm is facing forward. And take the arm, reach it up by a few inches so it's out on a high diagonal line. Bend your elbow like you're going to grab the back of your head with your hand. Keep your chest neatly stacked, so don't lean back through your chest, but pull your elbow way the heck back. And breathe. From here, can you extend the arm straight up to the sky? And then rotate your palm to face backwards. So that is shoulder rolling forward, wrist and palm rolling back. Bring the arm a little bit longer by your side. So it's like that high diagonal just towards the opposite corner of the wall. And then push your arm back as far as you can behind you. How far can you reach? Now bend your elbow. See if you can get your index and your thumb finger to touch the floor behind you. Oh, hold there. Maybe it's just your index finger. Straighten the elbow joints. That arm stays reaching back for now. Bring the arm a little bit forward. Reach it up to that half T, so fingertips to the sky. Slow rotation of palm and wrist to face forward. Go back to that diagonal line towards the opposite corner of wall and ceiling. Bend your elbow like you're going to cradle your head, but don't. Pull your armpit way back and breathe. Reach the arm vertically so you could like kiss your bicep. And let's do it one more time. So we're at bicep kissing, diagonal line. Bend elbow, armpit back. Don't let your chest rock backwards. Straighten arm to T. Rotate shoulder head forward. Wrist points backwards. Lower the arm by a few inches. Push the arm as far back as you can. How far can you reach back there? Then can you stay in that super far back reach and bend your elbow, get your index or thumb or both to touch the floor back there. Whew, breathe. And straighten it out. Sweep it a bit forward. Raise it to sky. Rotate the palm. Raise it a little overhead, but not quite bicep to ear. Bend your elbow, armpit pulls back, outer elbow pulls back. And then go to vertical reach, bicep close to the face. Relax that whole right side. All right, let's flip it over. So you could just turn around, but if you need to see the screen, then come to lay with that block as your pillow or your bath towel as your pillow. Now it's the right arm that's long and the head's resting on the yoga block. Left arm reaches forward, palms start with touching, like extended prayer. And then we go left arm hovering just a few inches away from the bottom arm. Shoulder blade movement. First movement is shrug. Second is pull back, like you're pinching your shoulder blade in and down towards the other one. Third movement is to slide the shoulder blade down so you make a lot of space between your ear and the top of your shoulder. And fourth movement is to reach the fingertips forward like we could touch each other's fingertips. Go again, up, back, armpit gets deep, down, and forward with the arm. One more, up, back, hollow armpit, down, glide it, and glide forward so the shoulder blade's like a wing. Let's reverse, retract, squeeze it back, elevate it, shrug it up, reach forward, touch my fingertips, slide down into that depression pattern. Two more, back, up, forward, down. Last one, back, up, Jersey, New York style, forward, and down. Relax that arm for a moment. Let's move to the vertical reach. So it's left arm overhead, long by the ear, like you could kiss your own bicep. See that you didn't rock backwards, so you still have right shoulder on top of left shoulder. Raise it up to that bit of a diagonal. Bend the elbow, pull the armpit and the shoulder blade and the outer elbow back. Straighten out towards that T, fingertips up to ceiling. Rotate the palm to face back. So this is big internal rotation of the shoulder. Lower the arm along the side of your body and then reach it as far back as you can, like you're touching a wall back there. Keep it in that far back reach. Keep your shoulders stacked. Bend your elbow back there. Can you get your index finger to touch the floor or maybe index and thumb? Then straighten. Bring it a little bit forward so it's not too taxing on that shoulder joint. Reach it up to sky. Rotation, palm faces forward. Reach it a little bit longer by the ear, not quite bicep to ear. Bend elbow, big pec stretch. Elbow back, armpit back. And then vertical reach. Let's do it one more time. Raise it up. Bend the elbow, armpit way back. Straighten the elbow joint, fingertips to ceiling. Rotation, roll the shoulder head forward. Bring it a little closer to the side body and reach way back. Can you stay reach back? Can you keep the left shoulder rounding forward? Then add the elbow bend back there. Fingertips. Touching floor, index and thumb or just index. And straighten it out all the way. Bring it forward so you don't have that crazy dramatic extension. Then to sky. Then palm faces forward. Bring it overhead by a little. One more time, elbow bends, armpit back. Spread your fingers, keep your hand awake. And then vertical reach, like you could kiss your own bicep. Release all of that. Ha. Okay, we're gonna flip back to the other side. And this time, if you need the block, you can use it, but I'd rather you use your head in your hand. So there's a little bit of support for the neck using your own palm. Or you could go bicep to, or ear to bicep. It's really up to you. And we're moving into hips. So go pin straight. So you're absolutely straight through the body. Firm your right arm along the side of you. Feel your right hip stacked neatly on top of your left hip. Bring your hand into the front plane. Bring your legs a little bit forward. Okay? So just by a few inches. Work knee towards chest or knee towards elbow, hip flexion. And then work hip extension. Thigh bone pushes back behind you. You'll feel your butt squeeze. And let's move between those two. So it's hip flexion, knee to elbow, hip extension, sole of the foot pushing back. Watch how your pelvis wants to roll forward or roll back. When you do this, keep yourself neatly stacked. Again, knee to elbow, and thigh bone pushes back behind you. Keep your knee bent, go to neutral, so you're no longer in thigh bone pushing back. External rotation, so that's inner heel reaching forward. Internal rotation, inner knee reaching backwards. External rotation, heel reaching forward. Internal rotation, inner knee reaching back. So we're greasing that wheel. One more. External knee to sky. Internal inner knee towards back wall. Come back to where you started. Don't straighten the leg. Keep your thighs parallel. Let's put them all together. Knee to chest is the first one. Knee to ceiling is the second one. Inner knee in, third. Thigh bone pushes back, fourth. Kick the thigh bone back a little bit more. Let's reverse our way out. Knee to ceiling, second. Knee to shoulder, third. Knee in front towards elbow, fourth. Let that go. So that was a controlled articular rotation. We just broke it down a little bit. Now we're going to work with the outer hip muscles. So bend your bottom knee, so it's like a half square, and then take your right leg, which is reaching forward, and reach it long. So you want right hip on top of left hip, right leg is neatly stacked. And you're going to go up by 4 inches and down by 4 inches. That's your range. I want you to imagine that you're actually moving through resistance. So when you press up, you're moving through resistance, and when you pull down, you're moving through resistance. And right now we're only at 4 and 4, 4 inches up and 4 inches down. And I'd like you to go into the 4 inches up and stay there for a moment. And then I want you to go where you are, 4 inches up, go 2 inches up, 2 inches down. 2 inches up, 2 inches down. So it becomes more like a pulsing action. And if your outer hip or your butt cheek starts screaming, you're totally doing it right. 2 up, 2 down. And keep going. I have a little clock in front of me. You can't see it, but I can. And it's got seconds. It's timing our seconds. We're going to go 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, keep your leg that high. Turn your toes down so your heel is up. Can you pull up by like 6 or 8 inches? And then pivot, toes up, heel down. Pull down by like 6 or 8 inches. Internally rotate the leg, pull up. Externally rotate the leg, pull down. Internal, raise it. External, lower it. 3 more. Internal, raise it. External, lower it. Last one. Internal, raise it. External, lower it. Internal, raise it. Pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax it. Ah, okay. So let's leave the top leg alone and work with the bottom leg. Go pin straight, legs stacked. Lift your right leg way the heck up and plant your foot in front of you, grab your ankle. And this is nice too because it gives you a little bit of a booty stretch. Flex the leg that's underneath you. Raise it just a few inches off the floor. And we're going to pulse the bottom leg up and down. And we're going to pulse the bottom leg up and down for a while. So if your leg is forward and you pulse up and down, you're going to feel one thing. If your leg is straight and you pulse up and down, you're going to feel another. Either way, you're working the inner thigh muscles, but you're working them a little differently. So check your leg position, and we've got 20 more seconds up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it all. Huh. Come onto your belly. Take a little child's pose stretch back so you can stretch that right hand side of your backside. We'll do a deeper glute stretch after we complete all the work. And then bring it forward and come over onto your side. We're going to do the other side. Prop your head up in your hand. And start yourself off pin straight. And then legs go forward by just a little. Hand goes in front of you, so hand is more in front of chest rather than belly. And we're going to work flexion extension. So what flexion is knee to elbow, and extension is thigh bone behind you. Just like when you were lifting and lowering your leg, can you move against some sort of perceived resistance? Like the air is thick. Heel pushes back. One more. Knee towards elbow. And then thigh bone extends back there. And go to neutral. Now external, internal. So what that is knee towards ceiling, inner knee towards wall behind you. And grease that rotation, internal and external. A couple of rounds. Last one. External knee up, internal inner knee back. Go to neutral. Don't straighten the top leg. Let's put them all together. So it's knee to elbow first. Knee opens to sky second. Inner knee in, outer heel out third. Extend the thigh bone back behind you fourth. Reverse, extend back. The knee pivots to sky. Knee pulls up towards shoulder. And knee goes in front towards elbow. Restack the legs. Now come to pin straight. Bottom knee bends to 90. Top leg is about 4 inches up and 4 inches down. So we're working this outer hip. And the heat builds. It's kind of a slow build, and then you get into it and you're like, okay. It's fully present. 10 more seconds of this 4 up, 4 down. 3, 2, and 1. Go into the 4 up, and then we're going to go 2 up, 2 down. So you're making the movement smaller, kind of refining the area you're working with. And it's a neutral position, so that's all 5 toes pointing towards the front of the room or the screen if you're angled to the screen. And 10 more seconds. 2 up, 2 down. Stay in the shallow range. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, stay lifted so you're like 6 inches off the floor. Heel up, toes in, pull up by 6 inches. Heel down, toes up, pull down by 6. Internal rotation, raise it. External rotation, lower it. Again, you're moving through perceived thick sand. 3 more. 2, 1. Internal rotation, raise it by the 6, pulse at the top. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Oh, mamma mia. Okay, now pin straight. Lift the top leg way the heck up. Lay on the foot in front of you, grab your ankle. So it's kind of like a pigeon stretch for the left glute. And then up, down with the bottom leg, 4 to 6 inches up, 4 to 6 inches down. And we're just doing this for time. So there's a squeeze at the top and a pushing down that happens. And you can be a little forward with the leg or pin straight out of the hip. All inner thigh work, just a little bit of a different sensation. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Oh, restack your legs. And take another child's pose and just stretch. Stretch the booty. And from child's pose, find your way all the way down onto your back. So come to lie, supine. If you have a yoga block, you can use it for this next thing. If you don't have one, you can create this next thing without it. So we're going to take banana pose. If you're going to use a yoga block for banana pose, come to bridge setup. Lift your hips and slide your block flat under the lower back, the bony part of the back side of your pelvis. If you're not using a yoga block, no worries. Just start with your legs straight and your arms over your head. Now, those of you that are up on your yoga block, or whether you're up or not, walk your legs over to the right. And then you're going to push into the back of the arms, and together we're scooting our shoulder blades and spine over to the right. So it's like we're a little banana shape hanging to the side. Now you could stay like this, or you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle. And that just adds to that side bend. Breathing here. So notice where the tissue feels tight along the side of that body and send your breath there. If you did cross ankle one over the other, uncross that. And then together, come back to centered. So walk your legs back and scooch those shoulder blades back. Let's go the other way. Legs kind of heel toe or tiptoe over to the left, and then upper body scoots left. And you can stay or cross right ankle over left in this banana. I should call it banana slug. Notice where the tissue feels tight along the side. It might be outer hip, right outside the rib cage, could be up towards the shoulder. Just breathe into all that. And then uncrossing right ankle. If you did crisscross, walk the legs back to center, scoot your upper body back to the center. Bend your knees. If you're up on your yoga block, lift off with the hips. Slide your block off to the side. And then all the way down. Knees hug in towards you. Moving into a little bit of supine core work. So start with knees bent, soles of the feet on the ground. Take your hands behind your head, elbows are wide. So you can stack your hands or interlace them. But the idea is not to tug on your head at all. So take your hands and place them in a way that you're not going to be tempted to pull on your head. Tailbone moves down, low belly moves in. Deep breath in. Exhale, peel head, neck, shoulder blades, and as much as of the spine as you can off the floor. Inhale, come back down, rest the spine, back of the hands and shoulder blades. Exhale, lift up. How much of your spine can you get off the ground? Inhale, come down. When you come down, don't let your low back lift. Exhale, come up. So it's like a traditional crunch, only the feet are grounded and we're not yanking on our head or letting our elbows squeeze in. You're keeping yourself really broad through the chest and broad through the armpits. If this does not feel challenging enough for you, or you want to add a little spicy to it, shin bones to tabletop. Now, if that doesn't feel spicy enough for you, legs on a high diagonal line. If that doesn't feel spicy enough for you, lower your legs so you're on a lower diagonal line. And if you don't feel spicy there, I don't know what to tell you. 3 more. 2 and 1. Knees hug in, head rests all the way back. Turn your head to the right. Let your right ear drop towards the floor. And then take it to head to the left. And bring it all the way back to center. So hip strength, hamstring opening, and core and shoulder work. We're going to combine it into the Maha core movement. So to begin this core movement, go to shins at tabletop, arms long by your side. Peel your head, neck, shoulder blades, and as much of the spine up off the floor as you can. Cross your right tricep to the outside of your left knee. Hold yourself up there. Right leg goes long. It hovers an inch or 2 away from the floor. Breathe here. So you're in a full isometric contraction. You've crossed the body, you're working the hip flexors. Working with the side body, working with the low belly. One more breath. Bring the knees back in. Relax everything down except your feet. Let's try that to the left. So this gets to combine everything we've strengthened today. Legs squeezed together. Peel up, head, neck, shoulder blades, as much of the spine off the floor as you can. Add rotation. It's left tricep towards outer right knee. Hold yourself up. No part of the shoulder blades drop. Left leg goes long. Two more breaths. Hug your knees in and relax all the way back. Soles of the feet to the ground. Let's take it to rolling bridge pose. Arms by your side, palms down, exhale. Inhale, hips up, raise the arms, stretch the whole front of your body. Exhale and slowly come to the ground. Breathe and move at your own rhythm out there. When you rise up, feel a big stretch from sternum or collarbone out through knees. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Eye of the needle, right ankle, left thigh. Pick up your left foot, thread around the back of the left thigh or through to the left shin. Right knee pushes away, left knee pulls towards you. Try to relax the shoulders so you're not in the shoulder to the earlobe position that we were practicing earlier. And you could stay here for your next few breaths, or you can take it into right leg cradled, baby cradle. Kind of like pigeon, only you're laying on your back. And whether you're an eye of needle or cradling your baby, release that. Both feet to the floor. Let's take the other side, left ankle, right thigh. Thread around the back of the right leg or to the right shin. It's right knee towards your face, left knee pushing away from you. And then stay or cradle your baby. Couple more breaths. And release, unwind wherever you are. Bend knees, soles of the feet grounded. Reach your arms to the ceiling, widen them apart like a V, and then wrap them around your own body. So you're giving yourself a hug. One elbow stacks on top of the other. Can you walk your hands to the inner border of your shoulder blades and pull the shoulder blades away from each other back there? Breathe into your upper back. Notice which elbow's on top, and then switch your hug, open wide, embrace the other way. Working your hands to that inner edge of shoulder blades, that border. Breathe into the space between them. And from here, open to cactus arms. So you're laying the backside of the forearms, backside of the upper arms against the ground. Heel toe your feet as wide as your yoga mat. Drop the knees and thighs to the right. Take it into sleeper pose so the right ankle hooks on the outside of the left knee. Turn your head to the left ear heavy to the floor. Breathe here. Bringing head slow to center. Unhook righty from lefty, feet wide, knees drop left, sleeper pose. Left ankle, outer right knee, right ear to the floor. And uncrossing, unhooking. And then take your knees in towards you, hold over the tops of them, but instead of crisscrossing your wrists like we did in the beginning, just hold right knee and right hand, left knee and left hand, and then begin to stir your legs like 2 pots of soup. Bringing fluidity without any resistance into the hips. And the opposite direction. That smooth movement in there like water. Zipping the legs back in. And then making yourself comfortable for body scan meditation. So if you need to cover up because you're chilly, or take something off because you're warm, or grab a bolster, blanket, anything you might need, perhaps a sandbag, or even an eye pillow. Set yourself up into some position that feels restorative. And body scan is meant to restore. Body scan meditation, or a yoga nidra meditation, is designed to bring you to that place that's between wake and sleep. It's known as the hypnagogic state. So once you arrive in your position of restoration, let your eyes close. Allow the breath to become spontaneous, gentle. Becoming aware of the belly and its gentle rise and fall. Maintain an awareness of the spontaneous breath. And also bring your awareness down into left foot, left toes. Feel the sole of the foot, the top of the foot, and the space between the toes. Awareness of left ankle and lower leg, shin and calf. Awareness of left knee and upper leg, front of the thigh, back of the thigh. And awareness of left hip, softening the buttock. Moving awareness to right foot, right toes. And feel the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, the space between the toes. Awareness of right ankle and lower leg, shin and calf. Awareness of right knee and upper leg, front of the thigh, back of the thigh. Awareness of right hip, softening the buttock. Awareness of pelvis, softening genitals, belly, and lower back. Relax all the way up the spine, muscles to the right and left of it. Relax the rib cage and the chest. Bring awareness to left hand and fingers, palm of the hand, back of the hand, space between the fingers. Awareness of left wrist and lower arm. Left elbow and upper arm. And soften the left shoulder. And awareness to right hand and fingers, palm of the hand, back of the hand, space between the fingers. Awareness of right wrist and forearm. Elbow and upper arm. And soften the right shoulder. Bringing awareness to the head, heavily resting. And all of the muscles of the face soft like clay. Smoothing the forehead, the cheeks, the lips, the chin. The sockets of the eyes, they deepen and widen. And the eyes themselves settle into that. Let go in tongue and let go in jaw. Bringing awareness back to spontaneous breath. And allowing the thumb finger to touch the fingerprints of the other fingers. To the tips, they brush together. And from there, extending, lengthening, stretching in any pattern that feels inviting. Allowing knees to bend and rolling to one side. And pressing into ground, using that to lift all the way to seated. Long spine, eyes softly close once again. Hands come together in this gesture of gratitude. I'm grateful for the resilience of our bodies, our minds, and our hearts. Namaste.